Okay, part 2, May 2019, Center Valley Animal Rescue, I call lynch mob against Michael Allmain and his dog that had been injured. And all of this hearsay and all of this, let's help the dog and not the man. On the last video ended on this woman here, Elizabeth Irving. And she said, I appreciate individuals such as yourself who speak without judgment and ask for there to be a rallying of community support so that everyone can move forward from this moment and work together to reunite Michael and Moses and stay involved with them to ensure their well-being. I think this is beautiful, and this is what we strive for. What I don't understand here is who's she talking about. I appreciate individuals such as yourself. They're not do-gooders. They're trying to get people to go against Michael. They're really not trying to help Michael. At this time, that woman that made the comment that I like down below, Irving, may have thought they were doing good, but that's not what they were doing. And they did not follow through and help Moses and Michael. And now they've taken the dog again. And someone unclipped the dog. They've had all of these different people involved have had a vendetta against this man for years. I don't really understand it all. Okay, so then we have this one. Contact Cairo News. Have them do a story on it. Yes, that would be wonderful, man. All parts of it. I've sent this story to a lot of the different news people, and I'll be sending a lot more to them for what the real truth is about all of these different parties. So much good you can do in Jefferson County, and ganging up on a homeless man, does that seem appropriate? He's a father, right? He's been here for 14 years. And people called him Magic Mike because of his construction stuff, right? But then he lives in a car, and he's all of a sudden the villain and the bad guy. Okay, this woman says, I believe the veterinarian and Center Valley Animal Rescue have valid information leading to their recommendation. Also, remember, so they're not posting the vet stuff and all that, right? But I think that Michelle Sanchez said in one thread that she couldn't figure out where Michael was because, which was none of her business. I mean, not Michael, but Moses, but that the dog had HIPAA rights. Okay, so does the dog have HIPAA rights? If that's true, then they violated it in this thread. Does Michael have HIPAA rights? They're basically calling him mentally ill. They're calling him, they're accusing him of crimes. They're defaming him. They are, all of these laws, defamation laws, civil conspiracy laws. Where is this valid information? Okay, where are the facts on this? And why is all of Michael's private information being put out by a local nonprofit? Okay, I plan on doing complaints against Center Valley Animal Rescue to the state, to the governor, to all kinds of different people. This is more animal and people cruelty, and they did not act with integrity, and I don't believe they acted in consistency. And anyway, more on that later. For the critical response is, do you transport your animal tied up in a truck? Do you donate or volunteer with any animal rescue? Our dog rides in the cab, taken to the vet, as we forego personal expenditures, are fed nutritional food, and treated as a family member. Okay. Janine Marie Miller. This dog was his family, his home, his entire life. He was in it inside. He was inside. Okay. It was kind of like a little camper canopy thing. Okay. There was a woman that shut the door that didn't shut it right. It was an accident. Okay, so no matter how good you think you are, that you do volunteering and that you take your animal to the vet and you're posh and live in a house. Well, us homeless folks can't necessarily do all that. We don't got the money to do all that, okay? And we can't take the dog to the vet to get his teeth fixed. We can't afford it. Plus, they're going to be a lynch mob like the people on this thread to take the dog, and the dog is our only family. Okay, so think outside of your privileged life and think about what other people might be experiencing. This is not an attack on any person in this thread. I love you all. I'm so glad to participate in this. But what I want to point out is the discrimination that we face as homeless people, okay? Or as people that don't have income or have low income or are not part of the prominent people, or that don't have connections in the community, or, you know, don't have connected to all these do-gooders with all this money that don't want to help people and dogs. They want to just help the dogs and vilify the people. Our dog rides in the cab. Again, it was like a cab, definitely. It was an accident. I've had car doors that have opened up. I've seen dogs fall out of cars. I mean, this happens, okay? It was an accident. Understand people have different views on treating animals, but agree with animal rescue. Agree with what? Hearsay? Treating animals? The dog fell out or jumped out of a car. He was not deliberately dragged. This thread says he's guilty, okay? It doesn't go under innocent till proven guilty, okay? Understand people have different views. Different views? No, it's this animal rescue place vilifying this man and claiming something happened that didn't. You believing them over him because he's homeless and he's bad and they're good because they're a nonprofit, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then you're saying the precious dog requires more care and should be placed in a foster home pending. Okay, so if my dog has an accident, you get to take my dog? Why are you the law? Why are you the moral authority? Okay? Okay, guess what? Who's this? Mara Noyes, because they have filed a lien now. Says, have the vet file a lien against the man and hold his property, the dog, until he can provide payment or until the prosecuting attorney files charges of animal abuse. So this shows intent, I'd say, in my opinion, criminal intent, to get this guy's dog, right? So I would even guess that one of them let the dog go, right? Because he's over and over testified that the dog was unclipped. So this is May of 2019. They've had intent all along to rack up fees. And I say that the City of Port Townsend, that Wendy Davis and all the other officers or whoever's involved are also involved in this civil conspiracy, in my opinion. Okay, they had a plan all along to do this. This shows intent. So they want the vet to file a lien against the man for his property. So they're admitting that it's his property. They stole his property. Okay, there was no proven abuse. There was no proven neglect. There was nothing that said that he did it on purpose, and they took the dog and kept it. And then they did it again in November of 2020. Now is March 13th, 2021, Center Valley Animal Rescue still has this man's dog. Does this not show intent? Sure does. Marlene Bowers, Michael Allmain, please do what's best for the dog. Okay, so they've outed the man's name. No right to privacy, because we're homeless, right? We ain't got no rights. Do what's best for the dog. Okay, the dog had an accident. What's best for the dog is to be with his dad, who's had him since he was a puppy, who in a wolf hybrid is also his alpha. The best thing for the dog is to be with Michael. Okay? No shame in doing the right thing. Yes, Marlene Bowers, so do the right thing. Speak the right thing. Don't just believe what you hear, the clatter from all of these lynch mob people targeting this man, so they can feel better about themselves or release toxic rage or aggressions from their childhood or whatever they're doing. You have family members saying you don't take care of the dog. What family members is this? Because I have pictures of him and the dog when he was with his family, and the dog was maybe even overweight, right? Because he had a happy family, a happy life. Yeah, they fell on hard times. So who are you talking to? An ex-wife? Someone who doesn't like him? I mean, hearsay? Your family members say. That is hearsay, okay? And that is outing someone's personal life on a non-profit's page, Center Valley Animal Rescue. They'll probably delete this page once I publicize it. But I have a PDF. I have this video. I will have pictures. It is clear to me that this is civil conspiracy. I would even say it's criminal what's going on here. They had criminal intent, in my opinion, to steal this man's property and ruin his life, okay, and put liens on his property that he couldn't afford. You have family members saying you don't take care of the dog. You have citizens that have seen the dog skinny and starved in your custody. Hey, guess what? Michael's pretty skinny. He's been on the verge of killing himself. He's been cold and lonely. Bad things have happened. Do you care? He's underweight. Do you care? Yeah, the dog might be a little bit underweight, but it wasn't because he wasn't getting fed. He was fed all the time. Perhaps it was a tooth issue. Maybe you could help him out. Sometimes shit happens in our life and circumstances change and we are no longer able to care for the animals we have. Right, and sometimes people don't know what they're talking about and they're just spouting hearsay. Cindy K. I saw the ads on Facebook and wondered if it was for the same dog. Did the dog have tags or registration? If not, how can the man claim it is his dog? I too would be willing to pay the impound fee and give this dog a home. Okay, so Cindy, I just want to let you know, down outside of Safeway, there's probably no less than 10 people in tents. The dogs. There's about 20 people around that I know of in cars. I think at least half of them have dogs. I think there's people out at the fairgrounds that have dogs. I don't think they're all registered. I don't think they all have their teeth checked, and some of them might have ear mites. So I think that Melissa Pleimann, the deputy county attorney, the officer Wendy Davis, Center Valley Animal Rescue, and this gal should go and get all the dogs in Port Townsend that don't have tags or registration, take all the dogs from the homeless people, and go door to door and see who else fits into this. Okay? Could you ask the guy in a private message if he's willing to sell the dog for $400? Okay, at this time, it's 2019, so the dog was probably 4 years old. Bought it for $600 as a puppy. Raised it, trained it, fed it. Let's just throw the guy some money. No, he's homeless. Who cares? Not a solution, folks. Not a solution. Did you ask? Sounds like he took the dog back, but I'm guessing he could really use some cash. Maybe I'll consider it. So these people, I want you guys to know that when we're homeless, we don't sell our soul to the devil. We just live in a car. If I'm madly in love with my dog, it's my best friend, it's my life, I'm not going to sell it for food for the day for myself. There was many days Michael's interviewed that he didn't eat or barely ate and the dog ate. That people would give him food for the dog. He had plenty of food for the dog. You think that because we're homeless, we could use the cash, so we're willing to sell our children, our family, our home, our everything that's in our dog as a homeless person, our warmth, our own survival to be warm, our own mental health, for $400 from you because you think you're all that and you think you're better than us? This is sick. Sick. Okay, this person said, Ashley Albert. People sure are quick to jump on the bandwagon without much information. This is tearing me up. Yeah, why are you guys doing this? Why? Who's ever watching this and seeing everything I've put out, I hope you get a clear picture of what Center Valley Animal Rescue is doing, what the City of Port Townsend and Jefferson County is doing, and what this issue is in all of Washington, and probably all of the United States, to discriminate against the homeless, to vilify the homeless, with no information at all. So she says, people sure are quick to jump on the bandwagon without much information. You can see my Doberman's ribs. The vet says her weight's great for age and joints. And I want to add to this that the dog Moses, that they refer to here as Rhodey, is a wolf hybrid. I've seen wolves in the wild. Okay, there are different reasons they get skinny. And this one woman was really going on in one of the threads about the dog wasn't smiling, right? And the dog was underweight. But didn't know anything or even see the man next to her, the dog wasn't smiling. You know, yeah, pets get down sometimes, and they're down when their owner's down. But talk about speculation of what the dog's mood is. I mean, wow, right? So then she says, and this is great, Ashley Albert, right on. Okay, you can see my Doberman's ribs. The vet says her weight is great. Okay, and we didn't get to, with Michael's, we didn't get to, like, I would say we, but he didn't get to have a chance to have other vets examine the dog. The City of Port Townsend got the dog to the Humane Society, who sent it to Center Valley Animal Rescue, who's done all sorts of things to it and racked up so many fees, as we see here, with the intent to later put a lien on it. And we don't even know if those things, that the dog really needed those things, or if the dog really got those things. We don't know any of that. We do know that they admitted it was his property. They knew it was his dog. And this was 2 years ago, folks. Well, again, this is May 2019. Today, as I'm speaking, it's March 2021, March 13th, the day after evidentiary hearing, which I testified on Michael's behalf. He still has a criminal trial. He still does not have his dog. He still has a bunch of hoops to jump through. You can see, okay, as a teenager, we had a dog whose skin was bright and pink and itchy as hell for months while we tested different foods to figure out what it was allergic to. Moses has allergies as a wolf hybrid, and it became apparent and worse once Michael became homeless because of all the different foods that the dog was eating to survive, because probably, he didn't have his regular food, I don't know, but also people at Safeway see homeless people with dogs, and when the homeless person goes into the store, they feed the dog. I've seen it 1,000 times over the last 8 years. And so who knows what the dog's reacting to? And as sad as it is, accidental draggings are more common than you would think. Yes, they are. Absolutely. They shouldn't be, but they are. I have no position on this particular case, only how people jump to pick a side when they don't have all the information. Humane societies usually aren't allowed to share information with the public about specific dogs and cases so they can tell us their reasoning. Okay, so why does Center Valley Animal Rescue have Michael's private information? Did Jefferson County Humane Society, are they legally liable for leaking this information? What is the relationship between Center Valley Animal Rescue and Jefferson County Humane Society, Jefferson County Prosecutor's Office, the City of Port Townsend? And why is it okay that they gave this man's private information in a public forum that still exists? Again, I have experience as an investigative blogger. Once you expose stuff like this and talk about it, they remove it. They probably will. But I will still have a record, and it will be used in a legal case. If you can represent Michael Allmain, and he's not asking me to ask this, I'm asking. My email is ReverendCrystalCox@gmail.com to sue the Port Townsend, the Jefferson County Humane Society, the City of Port Townsend, Officer Wendy Davis personally and professionally. Everybody involved at Center Valley Animal Rescue personally and professionally, and putting liens on their property. They want to put liens on Michael's property. They're the ones that all need liens on their property. So I would love an attorney to be able to represent Michael. And in my opinion, this is just me talking, that will call them all out for exposing his private medical information. Michelle Sanchez saying you'll see in the thread on the blog post I'll put in the description here, talking about the dog having HIPAA rights, so she couldn't find out where it was. She just thought it was at Center Valley Animal Rescue. So if the dog has HIPAA rights, then why is the dog's information being exposed here? And does the human have any legal rights here? Anyway, great comment, great comment. Okay, Ann Herden, how could you even think of giving this dog back to his abusive owner? The man should be prosecuted. Guilty, guilty, guilty. No innocent till proven guilty. How is he abusive? Because the dog fell out? Because the dog hit the road? I mean, do you have any evidence of abuse, or do you have evidence of an accident? I'm just asking. Okay, Barb Gillespie, posted to the Leader. Hopefully they will get involved to get the word out. The Leader article seemed more neutral on this, definitely neutral than these folks. If everyone reaches out to the paper, it will be a story that can't be ignored. Let me be the first. And go animal lovers. Okay, well, my name's Reverend Crystal Cox, and I love animals, but I love people too. Taking this man's dog, which is his home, his comfort, his love that he's had for the whole dog's life, and he's the alpha as it's a wolf hybrid, is nothing to do with loving an animal or humans. And you're right, this story can't be ignored, and it will not be ignored. I will be exposing every part of it. Not good or bad, I'm just saying I believe that you, this person here, just jumped on the bandwagon without information. just took one side of it because what? Because Center Valley Animal Rescue, are they prominent and they have a nonprofit here and they have property and they know people? I mean, so they're important and we're not because we live in cars and have dogs that may not be a perfect health or perfect weight in your eyes? Yeah. This is insane. Owner needs to be in jail and never should be around animals again. Woo! Okay, all of you folks out there who have had your dogs jumped out of the truck and got hurt, she's talking to you. So no proof of abuse, no proof of neglect, just a bunch of people hearsay, gossip, caterwauling, and he should be in jail and never have an animal again. Disagree. Alicia Artist. This animal was extremely well taken care of, and the incident was completely accidental. I personally know the owner and the dog and haven't seen Minnie treat better than him. I absolutely agree. I witnessed it every day, every morning, and every night for years, plus seeing him at Safeway with his dog in other locations. You are all so quick to judge and assume the worst. It's like saying you should not release a child back to their parent after being in a car accident who was badly injured. Accidents happen. You know it was not intentional whatsoever, but none of you seem to be looking at it from the perspective of the owner. The owner is doing everything he can to come up with cash because the fees are rather large. Nonetheless, he is very grateful that his companion is alive. This is what Michael's doing now. When he was in court yesterday, whether he can come up with the money or not, he just needed that judge to let him know that that dog would live. That's who Michael is. He is a precious man who loves his dog, who fell on depression and hard times and poverty. And you people are driving him into the ground, and you all should be ashamed. And he thanks and appreciates the people who were able to make that happen. We all fall in difficult times, and just when it seems it can't get any worse, a horrible accident occurs. And when you truly need the shoulder of your neighbors, you get slapped instead. Shame on you. I second that. As myself here, ReverendCrystalCox, shame on all of you. I'm losing faith in our communities that are so quick to assume bad before anything else. This person here says, Alicia, I think the underlying issue of ear and skin infection and the dog being 20 pounds underweight are the issue of concern. Oh my goodness, Stacy, goodness sakes. That sounds like what they call first world problems. We live in cars. We're trying to survive. We're trying not to freeze to death. Okay? And you think that the biggest concern is whether our dog is a little bit underweight according to society? What if we're underweight? And we need to clear up his skin infection and his ear infection. We're fucking trying to survive. Okay? Help the man. Don't demonize him for a dog having a skin infection and an ear infection. This issue is way bigger than that. These things do not happen overnight. Well, you know what? Sometimes they do. Been seeing that, definitely. But you think it's long-term neglect because a dog's 20 pounds underweight? A wolf hybrid? Do you know? Or is this just hearsay? Do you even know anything about the breed? Okay, this on top of irresponsible leashing the dog in the back of the truck. Cause for concern. Irresponsible leashing. What's that? Could have been a manufacturer malfunction. The dog could have chewed it. I've had dogs chew right through leashes. I've had dogs chew through a canopy and get out. I've had a dog that chewed through drywall insulation and almost out the outside wall of a house before. Okay, dogs do stuff like that. So vilifying the owner, again, ridiculous. Okay, the man does not have $80 to get the dog back. How will he afford the dog's care? Right. So help him. But instead, you'd rather take the dog? So us homeless people die without our dog to keep warm or to love us or to help us with mental health or depression? Yeah, sick. It was a covered canopy, totally secured. It was an accident. And do you always have $80 on hand? It must be nice. Wow, I like that one. Ginny Jane. Alicia, if someone doesn't have $80, how are they going to afford a vet bill and food? Oh, great. We got another one. All homeless people should not have dogs. She's not saying that. But basically, if you're homeless, you should not have a dog. So the question is, if you're homeless, should you have a dog by ethics, or should you have a dog by law? Should Port Townsend have laws that homeless people cannot have dogs? Should Port Townsend have a registry where you can register all the time, whether you have enough money for vet bills or $80 or, in order to keep the dog? Okay? And if a dog has an ear infection or skin infection, could be to do with an allergy or something, then that's to vilify the man? You think the dog's malnutrition? This is all hearsay, right? And he can't afford food. He's begged for food. Lots of people gave him food. Well, I've lived in Port Townsend since 2012. I've seen no less than 20 different individuals, male and female, begging for food for their dogs. So you think none of them should have the dog? That's basically what this is saying. Let's see who likes this. Okay. If you can't afford to properly feed a dog and get medical help, you don't need to own a pet. Okay. No homeless person should have a dog. No way to explain any of this poor dog issues other than animal abuse, right? We live in a car, right? What about people abuse? We've fallen on hard times, so you want our dog that we use for comfort and warmth? Our family we've had their whole life. And if it's a hybrid, you're the alpha. And because the dog's undernutritioned and what they're saying here, ear infection, skin thing going on, that's animal abuse? Well, you've led a sheltered life. This is absolutely not accurate. It's disgusting that a person treats any animal like this, and you're in his same category to defend him. No excuse. Hey, Crystal, my name's ReverendCrystalCox. I'm in that category too. What's disgusting is your assumptions of what happened, okay? There's no way to explain it but animal abuse. Well, there's probably at least 100 ways that I could explain that. I've seen it my whole life. If I can't feed my dog, then I don't need to have a dog? No, if I can't feed my dog, why don't you help me? Why don't the community help me? Why can't I beg for food? Why can't I keep the dog? Why can't I have my family? Because you don't think I should? And then because she tells you, not hearsay, this whole thread's hearsay, but this Alicia gives you a first-hand testimony of her experience with this man and this dog, and that he's not abusive to it. That's not good enough. But all the hearsay of everyone else in the thread, that's good. But she's disgusting, and she's just like him in the same category because she defends him. Well, I'm in that category too. Okay, especially since I am responsible for the care of 2 dogs. I mean, how old is this person, right? I'm 50. I'm not really a dog person, but I've had them my whole life, had ranches, had dogs, things happen. All right, so being responsible dog owner, my gosh, they do the craziest things. They get involved in skunks. Sometimes they'll bite a tire. They'll jump out of a truck. They'll chew through this or that or get into this or that. I mean, things happen. Whether you're responsible of 2 dogs or not is completely irrelevant. Okay, so that doesn't excuse the skin and ear infection. The poor pooch is underweight. These are big issues. Homeless guy could die without the dog. Their family, instead of helping him, that he's just abusive and take the dog. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Also, could not have been totally secured if the dog fell out and was dragged. Heartbreaking. Oh, really? Well, it was totally secured. It was a totally secured little canopy camper type thing. Okay, someone else shut the back end of it and didn't do it properly. It was an accident. Okay, absolutely disagree with this person. Okay, Jeffrey Crotty. Oh, why all the road rash? Oh my goodness, what a dumb question. Okay. If you see my videos, and there'll be a link to the blog post in there, I have had witnessed, I give 3 examples from 18 to like 40 years old of where I've seen dogs jump out of a vehicle, and they're drugged. Because when they jump out and we're going 70 or 80 or some weird crazy thing happens, and even inside the cab, I've seen them jump out of windows or just do weird things. Even open a door once and jump out, and they'll be drugged for ways until you can get the car to stop. And if you're on a road with more than one lane, they might even get hit or have other issues. Okay, and they're going to have road rash. Mike always has an excuse why these things happen. Oh, so now we're